imperfection, perceived it was perfection. To my discretion, seems like it was mostly a projection.
So I am living with my mom, living at my mom's house. I've been living in my mom's house for about 2 years now. And I never thought that I would be 24 living in my mom's house. Did I just say I was 24? Oh my gosh. So actually, I'm not 24. I'm 23 years old. I'm 23, in solar years. I do my best to let go of time and let go of the age thing and the thought of being measured by something that isn't really real if I put so much energy into it. Nonetheless, my former self never pictured me at 24 living with my mom. However, that is what I'm doing, and because I never saw myself in this predicament, by this age, we normally expect ourselves to be somewhere, and maybe not even at 24. We all have different expectations of ourselves, but the main expectation that most of us usually carry is, by this age I should have done this, by this age I should have done that, by this age I should be this person. And a lot of times we end up feeling like, dang, like this isn't what I pictured for myself, or this isn't where I wanted to be, or it's like a ton of bricks kind of weighs in on you, and you have this moment to really reflect on your life and reflect on the decisions that you made in your life and see how those decisions have affected you up and created this reality that you are now in. And also, before you even made the decisions, there were events that took place in your life. There was an environment that you were submersed in that had an effect on the way that you were thinking at the time, that had an effect on the way you were feeling at the time, how you perceived yourself, how you saw yourself. And all of these things accumulate and is what is responsible for our decisions, and ultimately what becomes responsible for our future. And so right now in my life, at 23, and whatever other age I am and whatever other planetary alignment, there is or has been that expectation that I put on myself that, dang, I should have been at this place in my life, I should have gotten this done, I should have been here. And the reality that I have to or am faced with is the fact that I am unique. My life didn't go in the ways that I would have thought it should have went, mainly because at the time, I would say during my early 20s, I'm still in my early 20s, but during my earlier 20s and my late teens, I was very, very, very sheltered, and I feel inhibited as a teenager. I feel like I really wanted to experience life and go out and do things and adventure. You know what I'm saying? I have a very adventurous spirit, okay? I got a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. So freedom was always on my mind, always on my heart. I just wanted to experience life. And I found growing up, living with my mom and my stepdad, that they were very closed in kind of people. They didn't really, from what I experienced, trust life. They didn't trust life too much. They thought everybody was a serial killer. Beware of going anywhere or doing anything with anybody. And I understand, they came up in a certain era. My mom is from New Orleans, and her husband is from the Virgin Islands, and they both grew up, he grew up in the 70s, 80s. My mom grew up in the 80s, 90s. They grew up in an era where different things happened, and it was a different kind of way of living. It was a different energy. And for a while, I spent a while being like mad, angry, hurt, just disgusted by their smallness, what I could tell as smallness in terms of addressing the way we address life. And so now I'm seeing that as I came out of my mom's house and I moved out, I went to college for 4 years, got my bachelor's in behavioral studies, I got a minor in fine arts. And during that time that I was away, I just was so in love with freedom. I was so in love with experience that practicality was never really on my mind. So in terms of like long-term goals, strategic thinking, in terms of how I do things and how I do that, you know, I was still learning in every sense. And I'm coming to the realization of that now, that I was learning back then. I was not as grown as I thought I was because I was on my own. You know, once I moved out, I literally didn't even know that strawberries expired. Like, I thought everything just stayed good. I was used to eating very, very much processed food. I was used to eating things that didn't have an expiration date, you know, until like next year. So whenever I moved out into college and, you know, started being out on my own, I realized that things are different. You know, growing up, you actually have to be responsible. But at that time, I thought the responsible was, you know, make sure you eat all your food before it expires. So I had a lot of lessons to learn in that regard, and I definitely learned quite a few lessons. I remember one lesson in particular, which started me off into my wellness journey, my spiritual journey, which was about, I would say 2014, 2015-ish, 2014, 2015-ish. I was experiencing a lot of different illnesses. So for a long time, I had really, really bad skin. Really, really bad skin. I would get like yeast infections and bacterial infections all the time. Like, it would just be out of the spur of the moment. Like, you know, that was when I started to want to be like real, I wouldn't call it promiscuous, but I was getting in touch with my sexuality. I was getting to know different people, you know, relationships, and I just wanted to be free. I wanted to be free in every sense. So I allowed myself that freedom, without boundary though. And so at that time, I was not really aware of the truth of spirituality in relationship with health, and health in relationship with spirituality. And I remember one day I got really, really sick. I came down with like the flu or something, and I was just sick for days. And that was when, you know, just the repetitive yeast infections and BV, and just my body just being out of tune, my uterus, my womb being out of tune. I would like get really sick and throw up Popeyes after I ate Popeyes chicken. And I was just like, you know, let me look up some other things that I can do. Let me look up some other things that I can do that will liberate me from experiencing these illnesses in my body, because this is just not normal. So that's when I began to delve into natural healing and natural earthly things I can do. You know, I remember I was making like an apple cider vinegar tea with cayenne pepper, lemon, and honey, and my roommate was like thinking I was a weirdo, like, you making all these concoctions, like, you know, her energy was just like, what a weirdo. But anyway, it spurred me into just getting in touch with more and more things that can heal me. And eventually I came to this revelation, like, okay, if all of these natural things have so many benefits for your body, then why would I eat anything else? Obviously, if I eat this all the time, then I will be strong, I'll be healthy, I'll be great, I'll be good. So that's what just kept me on my health journey and being mindful of everything that I ate. The meat and things that I was eating at the time, I cut that back and I started to eat more natural meats or, farm raised meats, until eventually I cut the meats out and decided to just go for a full-blown detox, and detox my whole body. And it was from there I became a vegan. And so once I became a vegan, I'm like, man, I'm on this journey, right? I'm on this journey of health and wellness. I'm on this journey of healing and enlightenment and raising your vibration. And it was just amazing. It was an amazing experience. And by that time, I was just manifesting like crazy. And I didn't even realize I was manifesting at the time. But I was manifesting. I manifested a new car that I was like so in love with. I manifested a relationship that I was also so in love with. I manifested all these great things that I was so happy about having. And I was so excited for life. And I didn't have no plan. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no I didn't have any guidebook that I was going by. I literally just went with what felt good for me and what I felt like was for me. So now, how did you end up here, Isaiah? How did you end up now in Washington State, the Evergreen State, in your mom's beautiful home with my now 1.5-year-old daughter? And so that is the same question that I ended up asking myself somewhere around after I gave birth to my daughter. I just started asking myself, how did I end up in this situation? Why do I not have my own house? Why do I not have my own place to be? Why do I not have my own husband, my own family? Why is my life like this right now? And that was a big question for me to ask myself, because with that question also came a lot of judgment and criticism that I had for myself, and disdain that I had for myself. And because of that, it's been reflected in so many people. I feel like even in my own home, in the home with my mom and my stepdad, maybe people on the outside looking in, I feel like, they think lowly of me because maybe I was doing so good, I was doing so good, and all of a sudden, I'm here at my mom's house with a baby, and from the looks of it, I'm not doing as well as I could have been doing, maybe if I hadn't got pregnant, maybe if I had a husband and my own house and a family, maybe if, and all these things just start flowing through my mind. And so this experience that I'm having currently, and that I'm now rising above and transmutating, has stimulated such a pure and intense need for my self-loving, self-acceptance, unconditionally accepting myself, where I am, what I'm experiencing, and taking all the energy that I have and putting it into being grateful for everything that is and everything that I do have in this moment. Because I can see from the past and from my experiences, how that has led me up to this point of feeling like, you know, what am I doing? What's going on? Like, I should be living like this. I should have a family, you know, my own family, my own home. All these pressures that I've realized that I've been putting on myself, and it's taken me so much out of the present. It's taken me so much out of my life and right now, and the abundance that is in the now, the abundance that is present in life, you know, and just being in the moment. It's really causing me to love myself on a whole another level, because when you've seen yourself and you feel like you know who you are, you feel like you know what your life is and where your life is going, and all of those things that you have in your mind for yourself, and then all of that literally just comes crashing like down. None of who you thought you were, none of who you had built yourself up to be was really you. None of that was really you. It was all an experience. It was all a part of your life. And you essentially are the being that is experiencing it to learn the lessons that you need to learn, so that you can really be who it is that you're supposed to be, versus the person that you think you are. So it's very humbling, and it's very emotional if you're an emotional person. It's a whole lot of things that I feel like I have experienced from then up until now, and now I am ready to be present and be grateful for the abundance of life in the now, because I don't want another day to go by. I don't want another month to go by. I don't want another year to go by where I'm sulking, I'm miserable, I'm loathing over the person that I thought I was, the person that I was forcing myself to be, and just surrendering to what is, and embracing the unknown that comes with living life and following your heart. So that's just where I am right now in life, and I would like to share that. I just thought to share that with you guys. I'm sure there's someone out there who wanted to hear something of that nature. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to maybe make this a residual thing where I vlog and give updates on life. But to close that out, I just would like to say that I am grateful for all of you that have watched this video. I'm grateful for the love that I receive, and I'm grateful for this life that I'm living. I'm grateful for this home. I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for every experience, and also the abundance that comes from sharing with the world all that I have accumulated over these 23 years that I've been here. So if you like this video, or if you want to share anything that you might be experiencing right now in your own life, go ahead and comment below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.